the number one most important thing to achieve any goal that you desire is simply learning to say no. You know, you've probably heard the quote already. You have to sacrifice for your goal, or else your goal becomes the sacrifice. And I cannot say like I cannot emphasize enough how true this is. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about like an example from one of my clients and why saying no is so incredibly important, and actually how to go about it. Because yeah, you have to make sacrifices, but first of all, there are some non-negotiables. You know, some things that you just cannot sacrifice, or only it's only going to work against you. And this is a little bit different for everybody. For me, basically, those are three different things. Number one is my health. So I need to make sure that I still like have enough movement. You know, I take long walks every day. I do exercise almost every day, to basically keep myself fit. You know, and also make sure I eat well, and that I sleep enough. I make sure that I sleep like 9 hours every day, because yeah, like that is just the most important thing as for a reset of your whole body and your brain. Right, so that is the first thing, the health. The second thing is basically relationships, and this is a bit of a tricky one, and that is what I want to talk about in a bit as well. But basically, for me, it is like the core friendships and my family, of course, the core relationship. Like I value quality over quantity. You know, before I had a lot of friends, but not a lot of quality connections. Now it's a lot fewer friends. Like my circle is pretty small, but it is quality connections. You know, so that is the second, relationship. Number three is basically the peace of mind. Right, and that basically means that I have to still be happy. You know, I can like try to achieve a goal, but not at the cost of basically my happiness and my enjoyment of the present moment. Right, so by the way, I've made some notes here. So once you see me looking basically at this, it's that I'm looking at my notes, because oftentimes I like go on a tangent, like now, including, and I want to, of course, be respectful of your guys' time. So yeah, that is why I keep my notes. So one of my clients, basically, like he was balancing a lot of the things. He was balancing his university study. He had a girlfriend. He wanted to maintain the gym still, and he wanted to build a business. And also he was uploading videos on YouTube, and also like he was having like basically chilling a lot with his friends. So the problem here was that he didn't really have enough time to make YouTube videos. But the thing is, like YouTube videos is how the traffic is coming in, right? Because you can get leads on two different ways. One, through networking. Number two, on content. Number three, paid advertisements. Basically three different ways. But he was mainly getting leads from YouTube. So if you stop making YouTube videos, then you stop getting the leads, and yeah, you can deliver to some clients that you have still, and you can convert the people who are still inside of the funnel, basically. But eventually the business will dry up. So there was like a bit of loss in momentum, and then we basically went through all of these things that he was doing, right? Because in essence, all of these things that we just mentioned were essential things. Like he wasn't like endlessly consuming things. He wasn't playing video games. He wasn't like unnecessary partying or something like that. So then I basically asked him, like, what do you think is actually like the biggest distraction? Like, what is the most obvious thing that is taking the most amount of time that isn't absolutely necessary? And then he basically mentioned, oh, that was like chilling with my friends, you know, because I am having like my friends in college or university, they are constantly trying to, they constantly want to hang out, they constantly want to chill, and that is normal, you know. In college relationships, what I've noticed that college friendship, like school friends, are at first like really intense, right? Because you go to the same college, so you have groups and you do a lot of things. But after that is over, after college is over, usually the friendship ends. Or, well, not necessarily, not in all cases, but in many cases, it actually the group stops hanging out basically. So he was saying that, yeah, like my friends who want to hang out all of the time. And then he mentioned, like, yeah, it's just they're like really difficult for me to say no. Like, if they want to hang out, if they want to do something, it is extremely difficult for me to say no. And this is the something. So then I basically explained to him like how important it is and why it is important to say no. But this is the thing that a lot of people are struggling with, including myself. But saying no is basically like a superpower, because every time you say no to something that really doesn't matter, it is like saying yes to something that does basically. So once you say no to certain things, you free up a lot of space and a lot of time. So and this is like the kind of the a bit of a different thing, but this is like the success trap. This is something that people, the trap that successful people fall into repeatedly. Basically, how this works, right? They focus on one different thing. They focus on one specific thing, I mean. And basically, because of that, they are becoming successful because they just focus on one thing. Now, when they are successful, right, then a lot of people they approach them and they want to do partnerships, and they get a lot of opportunities, a lot of great opportunities that first made a lot of sense, but now, because of the recent success, it doesn't really make sense. But still, you think it does. So you say yes to all of these different opportunities, right? So what you're basically then doing is you are spreading your attention. And by spreading your attention, you lose the focus that got you to where you are in the first place. So you lose a lot of momentum and you lose the success that you've built. Like, this is the success trap that people go through repeatedly, that people fall in repeatedly. So now you know it, right? So once you know how to focus on one thing and you are getting successful, be just aware of this, that you are not saying yes to everything. Like, I also had to decline a lot of great opportunities. I had some opportunities to work with one of the biggest people, one of the few biggest people in the space. But working with them meant I had to stop building my own brand, and basically lose the autonomy of exactly deciding myself what to work on, where to work, when to work, with who to work, and that type of freedom, I value that much more than a big opportunity, which will ultimately, of course, lead into more money, but in the short term. I don't think in the long term it basically was the right opportunity. Like, I think with this, I just listen to my intuition, right? Because our conscious mind, it can only think about the short-term effects, short-term consequences, but our intuition can think long-term. It can plan out like decades in advance, basically. So if you listen to it, then basically, like, you are like the process ultimately will be much shorter. Like, what you've heard probably a lot of people say is the long way is the short way. So yeah, like with the client which I was talking about, it was just the number one thing that he needed to do was just setting clear boundaries and just learning to say no. It is very uncomfortable to say no at first, but people will respect you for it, right? So, but then you don't have to be like a total douchebag and like say no to everything, but have clear boundaries. So basically what we came up with is like having like a set day where it's just a content day. On Tuesday, for example, like Tuesday is just a content day. Here you will make the YouTube videos because then you will get more leads, of course. On Friday was like his girlfriend day, and then he was like, all right, so Monday and Wednesday, those can be potential friends day. And once you actually start implementing this and actually start telling your friends like, no, right now is content day, but only on Monday and on Wednesday we can basically hang out. At first yeah, maybe they will feel a lot of, oh, like, why do you think you are better than us, blah 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 blah. But eventually, they will understand it, they will respect it, and they will only ask you to basically hang out on Monday and Wednesday, for example. And this is the best way to basically still balance all of these things while not like isolating yourself completely, and still basically hanging out with your friends. But just make sure that there are clear boundaries. Learn to say no, because like we mentioned before, every time you say no to something that isn't as high leverage, you say yes to something that is high leverage and that will actually improve the quality of your life even more. All right, see you in the next one. Bye bye.